here we are.
And I need to go take care of one quick thing, so I'll be.
Sweet. I'm gonna rename my stream.
Yeah, I always do that the night before,
Yeah,
so I
that's
don't
probably
have
a
to
good
think
idea.
about it.
Yeah, I forgot that I had streamed something else in between this. Let's see.
Ooh, I didn't get the notification for that, so I'll have to check what my settings are for YouTube for you.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see.
All right. Well, I will be right back. I'm going to get some water and other things, and then we'll get started.
Awesome. Let's
All
see.
right.
Where can I find this stream? Here we are. Can I find this stream? Okay. Let's see. Let me do this. I'm going to name it Laravel. Today we are working on our streamer website. That should be good for now. Let's save this. And there we go. I'm going to want to be seeing the chat. Oops. There we go. Is it under analytics? I don't know where to get to. Okay, that's all right. Analytics. Here we go. Not quite. I always struggle to make it to the dashboard. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. I'm back.
Awesome.
And just need to tweet out that I'm live.
Sweet. Let's see. Everything's opening up for me. I've got my chat and everything. There we are. Looking good. Shoot, did I fill up my water bottle? I don't know if I filled up my water bottle.
I mean, that should be pretty easy to tell, right?
I don't know where my water bottle is.
That's a much bigger problem.
Let's see. 1 second. All right, there we go. Filled it up.
Okay, just getting chat up.
Awesome. Let me. I'm gonna promote in the Fame and Fortune chat. Let's see. Where am I? I have so many things open right now. There we go.
All right.
So, is it the same link?
For what?
For the, what's it called? The pair, the Google Doc.
Oh,
VSA.
probably not. I need to start a live sharing session.
Okay.
Okay, link copy the clipboard and send this to you. Send this to
And there we go. Sweet. I'll open that up. Nice. All right. We're in. We're good.
All right. Looks like we're ready to go. Switched over to the main scene. And let's see.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. It is Sunday, so that means Kale and I are pairing on creating a sort of like a stream schedule and also stream overlay website, and we're using Laravel, PHP, and Vue as our stack.
Sick. We sound like we know what we're doing.
Well, I mean, there's always a certain amount of having to know, like sounding like you know what you're doing, and inspire confidence.
I like it. Let's see. There we go. I am going to open up the local host real quick and see what's good there. I mean, we don't have it running, but it's was it 8,000 or 3,000? I don't remember.
I think the idea is that if you you need to get into the terminal.
All right, there we go. Awesome. So it was.
And do you remember the command?
PHP artisan. Was it watch? Did we use watch, or that was with Vue? Was it watch? What if I just do that? View package migrate. Hang on, which one was it? Serve? No. Yeah, serve. Right?
Yeah.
There we go. Sweet.
Oh, that's not something I want to show on the screen. Hold on. Quick break. I have an old key showing here.
Uh-oh.
I know that's not necessarily what's the best thing to show, but I've got it back. We're good.
Let's see. Okay.
And on top of that, I have. Okay, so we've got that running. I have the stream highlighter finally working again.
Stream highlighter?
Yeah, I've not had it working so far, but it's a bot listener that I have.
Oh, it did work. That was cool.
Yep, it worked. The problem with the highlighter, however, is that I have this view to like see the highlights, and I don't seem to be able to make them go away.
Okay. So you can't get rid of the. What if I do multiple? What if I do line 5 now? Can I just like select your entire?
I mean, yeah, you could do that. Also, if you just do bang line, it will give you instructions for how to do it.
Oh, multiple lines start through end. So you could literally go like this, 7 through 31. Is that gonna? It did. Oh, I bet that it's frustrating.
It doesn't. Which, I mean, is unfortunate that the highlighter part here doesn't show up, so I can't then like remove highlight.
So do you need to like exit out of README and then?
No, because if I exit out of README, and then come back to README, they're still there.
There's still.
So
Oh.
what I have set it up to do is that I just disconnect the disconnect and reconnect the chat bot.
There we go. Okay.
I know it's a I don't know why it's not registering properly for the highlighter. I didn't see any issue there right now. I might have to like create an issue for them.
Huh, yeah. I mean, that's a very cool tool. I'd like to work on that tool if that's possible. Um,
It is open source, so I can show it really quickly. Which highlighter? And actually, this the Twitch highlighter is it was tweeted out
whoa, that's cool.
by the VS Code team, so they liked seeing it. So this is it's Clark.io's VS Code Twitch highlighter. This is the there's a GitHub repo for it.
Okay. I'm going to definitely look at that. It's very neat.
Yeah, definitely very neat, very nice. Sort of like very nice system that they have there. I wish that the unhighlight part worked
Worked,
very
yeah.
super well, but
It's probably an issue for that. Alrighty. So, what is first on the list of things we should be doing instead of uh, the Twitch highlighter? I go off on tangents too often.
of course, of
That's what I
course.
do.
Okay, so we are getting really close. Like, if we take a look at what we have right now, we have this landing page, and then we can click on our links, which take us to the Berserker page. Now, this is just like sort of below here, which is not necessarily the best thing in the world. We can take a look at how we're building these, because we have like hello world and then streamers. And so if we look at view streamers index, okay, so we have the welcome to streamer names page. We have a home, which we're not really using right now because that's like the entire logged in
Yeah.
authentication thing. We have landing.blade is showing the hello component. That's the hello world here. And then it's also the router view because we have a router too,
Right,
which is
right.
working for these.
Okay. Awesome.
So what I'm thinking. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking like I'd like to better. You know how we can't access the home page anymore, like the login page, because of Vue. Um, so a better relationship between Vue and Laravel routes, I feel, is necessary. Or just change
Yeah.
it all to Vue.
So I guess like the first question is what's the end goal that we're going for here?
So ideally, I feel like in order to log in or in order to go to a home page, um, it'd be really neat if you could load static files from a server and then in the background be downloading the entire web app. And then once they navigate to a certain streamer page, it goes to the web app. But I don't really know if there's like some library to do that easily or if we should just go an easier route just starting off.
Well, I think what you're talking about is there's some tools for that. Basically, a server-side rendering tools really help out, which is go straight to the route that you want to, and then download the rest of the app.
Yes.
The tool to use here is called Nuxt. I actually don't know about that tool right now, and also it adds a bunch of complexity, which can make it a little bit more difficult.
Okay, so maybe
Especially for like when beginning out.
Yeah, okay.
My recommendation is that we sort of like stick to the traditional single page app idea, which is like everything rendered and done on the front end. We keep it small, but also we don't really worry too much about it because our target audience is kind of people that have really good internet right now.
Right, right, okay. Okay,
That's
that
sort of
sounds
my
good.
thought.
Yeah, that was a bit ambitious. I think maybe that would be something we do later, or even if we do it later.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, truth be told, Vue is probably not, or a front end framework is probably not required for this project because we're not really expecting people to navigate to all the different pages.
Right.
Um, it's more of people are going to be coming to our individual like specific page and then they're going to leave.
Yeah, okay. Deal.
Um,
But since we already have it set up, I guess just make everything view.
Well, and it's also a learning thing, right? It's
Yes.
it's going to be small enough that it's not going to be that big of a problem to have view on the page. It's not going to slow it down that much, and we also get to learn this. So that's those are all good things.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we have this route. It takes us to the path streamer,
Hmm.
and that streamer then takes us to each of our home pages. Right now, however, our homepage is kind of odd because we have this like hello world and then streamers, and then we have our individual page shown below that. And I kind of feel that it might be better to just uh, go to a specific our page, and that's kind of it.
Okay, let's see. If we wanted to do that, then would we? What would we? Let's see. I need to open up some docs then. Let's see. View routes. Wait, no. Let's go there. So, like, where did it go? Was it app.js? So if I'm in app, when we have this routes array, can we add static ones on top of this and use this as kind of a catch-all?
Yeah, we definitely can. So anything that like is slash and then something, it's going to be caught by this.
Okay.
But we could have definitely a route before it.
Okay. So that's where we'd put. Okay. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. So what was the first thing we need to do?
Well, okay. So if we take a look at our the page that we have right now, it's showing the hello world and then the list of streamers. And then when we navigate to those streamers, it just injects that below the hello world and then the list of streamers. That doesn't seem too nice right now. It might be better to just have the hello world streamers. When you click on each individual streamer, it takes them to that
Oh, just the page. Okay. Yeah.
just the page.
Yes. Okay, so that would probably then have something to do with did we have the landing component? Link to streamer. Okay, so this was where were you? I need to navigate back to you, I think. Okay, you're an app. We had another thing open though, I thought.
I'm an app, but that's not necessarily where
Here
the
we
change
are.
needs to take
Landing
place.
landing.blade. Okay. Right? So we have
Yeah.
this hello component, and that's doing the our people. So what if we just took hello component and rendered it in router view whenever we have a certain route up, I guess.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good plan. Let's try it.
So if I just get rid of this first, I don't know if that's like a terrible thing to do, but now let's see. Let's go into landing component, schedule components. Okay, so schedule component, that is the schedule, of course. landing component. That is that. So an app maybe then. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so if we do path, um, and we just do slash and do component, and we do landing component. There we go. But is it live? It is live. Okay.
Well, so it doesn't update for us, but that's because we
We
haven't
need
set up the command to
the
auto
watch
compile.
thing. Let's see. So can I make a new terminal? Oh, yes, you got it.
I don't know if you can make a new terminal, but I just did. So
Oh,
you can
sweet.
request rewrite to that.
What was it? What was it that we used? What was the command we used in order to watch? Was it an npx command?
It was an MPX, but it was really close. It is having to do with npm.
Run watch probably, or dev colon watch. Oh, this
Yeah. Do you
worked.
know
Okay.
do you know how to like find out what scripts there are available?
No, I don't.
Ah, okay. So uh, go to the package.json file.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know that way. I didn't know if there was like a command line way of doing it. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah. There's no command line tool that would sort of like show you all the scripts, besides maybe cat.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, cat would work. That's funny. But yeah, I see we have a dev development watch poll hot prod production. Neat.
So now if we refresh, we see, hey, here's our landing page, and we can go to each of the individual pages.
Sweet. Awesome. I would like a home button, but maybe that's later.
Well, and so that brings us to like the actual README that we created. That was to have a basic default template. So I think the idea that we want is a bunch of like potential components that are for, um, well, at least one component for like that homepage, and then we can create multiple of them and store that maybe in the database or something, so that we can say, okay, this is Berserker's page. Let's display it in using the template that Berserker wants.
Great. Should we do that in schedule component?
Let's see. Probably, yeah. I'm thinking the schedule component is that sort of homepage.
Okay, great. Homepage for each streamer, I guess.
Right.
Okay. So how do we want this to look then? Do we have some
Yeah, so that's going to be the interesting thing, because we want to be able to like pull in a variety of different components. So I'm thinking the schedule component is really going to be a component that makes the decision, what component do I want to load?
okay, a higher order component or something.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Let's go ahead and create a so we have the schedule component. Let's go and take a look at that.
Okay, great. Right now it's pretty plain. Just welcome.
Right. And I'm almost thinking that we're not going to necessarily have much between this template here, besides maybe a bunch of like equivalent of if statements.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um so right now, like in the database, we haven't got many or much data to go off of. Like we have 2 rows and that's fine, but we only have like a minimal number of columns and they're not quite as applicable to. It's like okay, so we'll just use static data for now, right? So that's not a big deal. We can add those columns in the database later, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is that under the script here, this is where we're going to put our lifecycle functions.
Okay, great. Okay. Um so like I don't really know exactly what we should do then.
Well, so I guess what we could do is we can create two dummy sort of hello world different components that would be like potentially different looking displays. And then we need to make the decision, okay, whose component is whose. That's where it's going to get sort of like interesting. Now, in order to do this, we need to be able to like set what component preference that we have. So it gets. I think that it's not going to be something we're going to allow our users to sort of create their own components. They're just going to choose one that
Okay.
already exists. So we need to create that and sort of like test it here.
So are you saying we'll have like a calendar component and like a I don't know, a next date, like a big header next stream date component, and if they
I
want
mean,
that then add it.
potentially yes, but it could also be as simple as us saying, okay, the component we want is something like the oh, I wouldn't know what we want to say. Like, how about a standard dark? Um, so if we do something like this,
Hmm.
this is standard dark schedule. Um, this will be displayed if that's like the component that the user chooses.
Okay, okay.
And we can
Um,
even use a an if statement. So that would be something like, okay, if we have a section, um, or I don't know if I want to call it a section, or we could just do a div and we do a vf, and we'll have to do something like, okay, well, vf, we don't use this for this, but like we have some kind of like data uh, in the component down here, and we'll say, okay, um, the template that we want to use is equal to dark.
okay.
So if we do something like that, then this will display, and then we can use v else's to, or else ifs to like display all the different templates that we have.
Okay. How does that work?
So in order to like know which one we want, this one, the template, we'd have to do a get request to the database, find out what's the template that this streamer likes to use. Then we'll put that into a variable, and then it will read up here.
Okay, great. So we shouldn't worry about the database quite yet. We're just filling it in with data, right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, hey, what if we want to just sort of get two very basic components like this,
Okay, great.
and just test that can be done, and then we can hook it up to the database later and actually display. Uh, well, you can have one and I can have another.
Okay, great. So if I do something like, and we might want to be a bit more mindful about uh, the file system, but if I go like this and do something like standard, oh, dark, schedule component, something like that, would I name it? Would I just kind of go like that and it'd fill it in, or?
I don't think so. And usually, what we'd want to do is, instead of like something like this,
Mm-hmm.
if we come back to app.js,
Okay.
there's a way to sort of see this view component, landing component.
Yes.
That is registering that component to be a global component. We can now use it anywhere in the
Ah.
app by just using this tag.
Okay. Great. So we don't have to cross-reference a whole bunch of things.
Right, exactly.
That's nice.
In so the negative is that it does make it a little bit more tightly coupled,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it also makes it so like, hey, we all need these. It's just a decision we have to make of whether or not we want to tightly couple the app together like that.
Okay. So I guess we'll just go for it and see what happens. If it backfires, it
Yeah,
backfires.
I think that's fine.
Okay, so should we, how specific should we go? Like, is there a way if we have, like, standard schedule, uh, could we make a dark off of that? Or, like, using some sort of composition or something?
I mean, we probably could, but um, that might, well, we have to decide how tightly we want to couple these components together. Do we want them to be like the entire thing all at once, or do we want like lots of little pieces and then to sort of like bring them in together? I'm almost of the mind of like being as lazy as possible and just saying, okay, well, let's just create two very simple ones, and if there's any um, shared parts to them, we can break those out into components.
Okay. So I guess I'll just create, like, a standard, I'm gonna name it standard, schedule component dot view. That's so generic. It's like so generic. And so we'll have to register that. Uh, there. Ooh, well, that didn't work as well as I thought it would. Standard schedule component. Heck. Go here, components. There we go. Dot view. So now we register it. Where was that registered? There it is. So standard schedule. Should we like name it component every single time?
No, we don't want it component here because this is going to be the tag name. So standard schedule is going to be what goes between the less than and greater than signs.
Okay, cool. So, but we want to keep it here.
Yes, this is just the variable name.
Okay, great. So now in our standards, oh wait, no. In our schedule component, just a regular one, not the standard one. We're gonna have to change the name probably. Oh, yeah. Standard schedule. Okay. I got a little bit confused. We need to rename this from dark to just standard schedule, I guess.
Right. And let's also go ahead and take this div out, or at least let's take the if out because we don't have information from the database to like determine if that's true or not yet.
Okay. Could we fill in just local data, just hard code it for now?
Yeah, I think that's what we should probably do because otherwise we won't know necessarily what we want, like what we actually want in this document.
Okay, great. So how would we set template within the script tags?
Oh,
Something like this.
We're not going to worry about that right now.
Okay. Then we'll just, yeah, so we will have to remove this.
Yep.
There you go.
We'll figure that out in a bit.
Great. Alrighty then. So if we have a streamer, can we pass in data to this streamer schedule? Like some props?
We can, but first we want to like actually set the schedule. Let's do a hello world for the standard schedule component to make sure that it's loading properly.
Okay, good idea. Oop. I don't think I need to set up my like automatic closing tags or something. There we go. Okay, so if we just do an H1, Hello there. Something like that. Do you mind saving both of these files? It's telling me that
It
the...
looks like it's saved for me.
Huh, weird. Don't
And I've got
save.
a hello there, so it works.
Okay, great. Let's go for it then. So if I refresh, let's see. Yeah, okay, so I do see it. They both just say hello there.
So I'm actually gonna let's see. Oh, that's the
Oh,
problem.
yeah. I forgot.
I'm gonna make this a section.
There we go.
Save that, and now
And if we go to our streamer, there we go. Standard schedule component.
and so that gives us, okay, now we have the standard schedule component just sitting here.
Okay, great. So, let's see. Do we want to like plan out what a standard schedule component should look like?
So we can do that. Our choices here are to like break apart, now do a second sort of like hello world like this component, and then get the database side working. So that way we can choose which one we want to, or at least use the props to like
Right.
choose which one and like see how that's going to work. Or we can get one fully working with static data and then set up the database to like get that all that data. Um,
Ooh, I think we should get the data first.
well, we don't know what the data is until we create it.
Okay. Huh.
So like there's this entire idea in software development called agile, which is, I don't know if you've heard of that very much.
Yes.
Uh, but the biggest idea is that we don't know what we don't know, right? And we can plan until our faces are blue, but we're probably not going to plan the right things because we don't know what we really need until we try it.
Okay.
So let's just build it and we'll use static data and then we'll figure out that those are the props that we need based
Okay,
upon
great.
that.
Great. Okay. I like that idea. um so when you say props, those props would be coming from schedule component, right? Where would we...
Yeah, so they'd be passing through. So like it, I mean, it's almost like bubbling down or I guess it depends upon how the tree looks, but if it's coming down, it's basically like we're putting in a bunch of marbles and they're sort of filtering through and falling through all the different components that we have to reach here.
Okay. So schedule component then, that's where our static data will live and we will send it to standard schedule component
Yeah,
via
exactly.
props. Okay, great.
But let's not worry about that right now. Let's actually just make this component, the standard schedule component, look exactly like the way we want the standard schedule component to look. And we'll just manually, statically put data in there.
Okay, so how should it look? Should we have like a date followed by the title, or the title and then the date and then a description for, for each planed stream, I guess?
Well, so that's a super good question, and I sort of like think about it in terms of what's like the point of the schedule to me.
Okay, yeah.
There's this idea of like start with the end in mind. So like, what's the information that you want to portray?
Uh, if I'm looking at a streamer's schedule, I want to know when their next one is. I want that one to be the biggest. And then I would want every following stream to be, just slightly smaller. It's not quite as poppy, but I want them there to see, if there's a future one that I can plan for, I guess. I'd also like to know the names. If there's a photo, gives me a good idea of what's gonna happen. um, yeah, that's all I can think of right now. But
All right. Well, let's make note of those down. So,
in the README or
or just here in this standard schedule component, we're probably going to be copying this and then making other one, like making it based upon it. So whatever we create from here is just going to be fine.
okay, cool. So if we have, like, I'm thinking we make a future stream component or something that we can reuse. Or I mean, it wouldn't even have to be like a complete component, I guess. Does this all have to be in a section, or could we make this a div? Could we like wrap
It
this
can be a div too.
there? Oops. There we go. So if I wrap that in a div, and then if I say, if I have an article or something, I'm trying to be like semantically trying to use the HTML5 stuff or something. And if I do like an H1 saying, oopsies, the date or the title of the stream. So stream number 1, and like in a paragraph we'll say something like the next date coming up. So maybe we'll say the 14th or something. And perhaps just a description. We'll be streaming. Something like that. I don't know. Is this kind of... This is what I had in mind. Just have a bunch of, like, these. And maybe one, like, tip-top header, which is the one that's either... that's gonna be the soonest.
Yeah, so like, well, and that's the beauty about using a templating system is that we can each choose different styles that we want to display our schedule.
Okay, great.
So if we can think about it, it's like, okay, stream number 1, and then we have the date here. So like, how do we want to style this?
I don't really know. Usually I kind of like draw it out on a whiteboard how I want something to look, or use like a tool.
I don't know. I don't know of any good shared whiteboard
I don't know
tools.
either.
This could be good, like potential sort of between stream homework. Then is sort of like to design our what our schedule pages could look like,
Okay.
and then we can come back here and then set these up and work on them.
Okay. But so don't worry about style now. We'll worry about style in between. I guess is what you're saying. And then what other data do we want about each stream, or what other data do we want, I guess.
Right. So when I think about like my stream schedule, I'm usually like thinking about themes. So, for example, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings before I head to work, I do a programming stream where I'm working on the current project, whatever that is.
Okay.
And so for me, it's like, okay, I could have that. I could have that down, which says, okay, um, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:45 Mountain Time, working on current project with maybe a link to the current project or like some kind of display of what that current project is.
Okay. Cool. So when you were talking about theme, I guess we wouldn't necessarily display the theme, but I mean we could, like, the category of stream, if you do multiple categories, or if you have custom categories, then They could either display like some sort of color coded thing, or we'll worry about that later. I was getting into it too much, but
Well, and so those are good things to sort of like note down as we're thinking about them because they might be really good. We don't want to forget them
yes,
essentially.
okay.
I guess like in my mind, I want this to update this page as little as possible. I want to sort of like set it and forget it,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then only change it when my schedule changes.
So we'll have to know if like once you add a stream, you're gonna have to cancel it too. Ooh, let's see.
Um, to cancel it to like not displayed here or
Either not display it or display that it is canceled.
oh yeah.
So maybe I'll just like do that an example, and then I don't know, H2, or maybe H2, but I don't know. Canceled, something like that. That's gonna look pretty silly, but we'll see. Every time I refresh, though, it's still using Laravel's routes.
Yeah, it is. So we need to fix that too. So we might as well go and do that right now.
Okay.
So what's happening, or do you know what's happening?
When we refresh, Laravel is like we're only getting the web app when we go to the home, and instead of going to the home, we're hitting an endpoint in our Laravel, and it's not actually serving up the view that we have. It's like it's not even sending the web app at all. I don't think.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of how we might be able to fix that?
Um, I would say it's where is this at? We would go into the routes wherever we had our routes and just tell it not to route to our um to our slash streamer. I don't know app. Let's see. HTTP controllers maybe. Home controller.
Well, so I guess we could think about this. You mentioned it's in the Laravel side,
Yes.
and you mentioned there were some routes, like it was something about routes.
Yes.
So Laravel does try to make it nice and easy for us. So there's a directory structure we can follow to like then figure out what files we want to be in, or at least narrow down the choices.
Right. Okay. Um. Yeah. So what would we go for that then? How would we use that? Like I'm in app and HTTP, but that's our routes. I don't know where they're hooked up. Like trying to figure out. Oh, routes right there, literally right there. Is that it? Web.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Great.
You're in it.
So I'm thinking, just remove this. Remove that and maybe make the route above it a bit more catchy. So route get and get pretty much anything, I guess.
Yeah, although we have to follow the same pattern that they were using.
Oh, right, yeah. So like this, and then I don't know, star. Can I do? I don't know if a star would mess things up.
Well, what we could do is we can go take a look at Laravel's documentation and see what are catch-all routes.
Okay, great. Oh, could we just? I don't know. Let me see. I'm gonna try that and see if it's. Okay, let's just go to Laravel and check what they say.
Well, if you want, you can take a look at it, see if that works.
Okay. 404 not found. So it doesn't just serve up the landing. No, that star that I did does not. Let's see. I feel like I was kind of close, but oh, maybe this should go underneath all this because it's the catch-all.
Yeah, catch-alls generally is a good idea to put on the bottom.
Okay. I don't know if that made an actual difference to it though.
No, because it would have gone to that catch-all to begin with.
Yeah, and then it would have overridden our other routes. Let's see. Getting started, the basics front end, routing. So can I say basic routing, view routes, parameters, fallback? Here we go. Ah, it's not okay. So it seems like this. Then we just grab this function, uh, like that.
Let's give it a try.
Hey, sick.
Yep, and there it goes. So fallback, it's a little bit more verbose than something like Node.js with Express, but it is telling you, okay, there's this method, there's a static method fallback on the class route that you can directly call to basically say, hey, whenever, like, if none of the other routes work, if you're getting a 404, just send them to this.
Okay, and so we'll handle 404s in Vue now, right?
Correct. So there's there are potential problems for that because we're not going to send an actual 404 code now. But
Oh, huh.
well, let's not worry about that
Okay.
for right now.
Okay, cool. So now that we have that, that makes things a little bit easier. We can just refresh on a streamer's page and expect it to work.
Exactly.
So that's nice. So now we'll get back to doing the schedule component then.
Yes. Now I can see your H2 canceled.
Yes. I don't think that should go there. I think it should go like right after the title, but I think it should be inline, like an inline H2 or something. And maybe be small and redder or something. I don't know. But I'm just thinking about like the data we'll need. We'll need. Can I just like comment? Can I do like a comment thing? Guess it would be like this. Hang on. There? No.
Do you remember HTML comments?
Is it just an HTML comment? Like that?
Yep, exactly like that.
So we'll need a title. Cancelled. I don't know. We'll do title. I'm just like laying out in my head like date for the I want to say date, but that's the data type, not like the actual stream date.
So you're thinking like these are going to be the keys in the object that's going to be passed in.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking about right now. I guess. And then we'll have. There we go. Anything else we might want?
I think this should be good.
Should okay, cool. Well, sweet. Should we like try to get those passed in then? Should we try to pass in a list? Oh, oopsies. Did I? Oh, interesting.
Oh, it doesn't like those comments.
Huh.
It thinks there's other tags.
Oh, interesting. It changed back though. I hit Control Z, it changed back, and then I hit save again, and it didn't change it. That was weird. It's like, huh, that was weird.
Well, so this is all like this is definitely possible to do something like this. One caveat is what if we have a different type of display for this? So what if instead of just having like stream 1, stream 2, like these upcoming streams,
Oh yeah.
what if it was just like a very generic schedule? So it just says, okay, on Monday, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I'm streaming, game dev. On Sundays, I'm doing this pair programming stream with you, and on at every weekday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I'm playing a game or something like that.
So you're saying create like a weekly schedule,
Right.
not full of
And so if we
dates.
have a weekly schedule, but then we can still have like potential notices or like events that we
Right.
can put on that will say like, hey, um, this next stream is going to be canceled or something like that.
Okay. Sweet.
So I'm almost
Um.
thinking it would be something like this then, or instead of the article, it would be uh, we'd have an H1. We'll just do schedule,
Mhm.
and then we might have something like a Monday. This is where I'd have to like really think through like how I want it styled
Yeah.
because that or how I want it to display because that might change how I want to do the HTML here. Um, but if I say okay, we have H2 and this is going to be morning. Let's see, programming before work, and then we could have a description about uh, what I'm building,
Okay.
and then we'd have the actual like maybe like a UL with list items for like Monday 6:45 a.m. MDT.
Okay. And then have
And if I do
Wednesday.
this 3 times, this will be Wednesday, Friday. So if I were to do that,
Okay, let's see. Okay. And you just have kind of like multiple of those.
yeah, so we can have like, okay, I have the program before work. That's one type of stream. I have maybe another one that is maybe gaming after work, um,
Hmm.
and or like a focus stream or something like that. Where okay, these are the different types of streams that I have, and these are when uh, they're going to be displayed. And if we want to, we could highlight the one that's upcoming.
Okay, we could like put emphasis on that one.
Right, because we could detect, okay, these are Mondays, right?
Yes.
So we can detect, okay, is it Monday? Like what day of the week is it? What's the next most upcoming one? We
Yes.
could do that, or we could just leave this a really, really, really simple stream. And if we canceled something, um, we can come into this and just say maybe like at the other side of here, do like a span tag and just say canceled.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then later on, we come in and like undo that. There's lots of ways we can do this. We could even instead of the canceled there, put like a some kind of big banner at the top that says next the stream on Monday has been canceled due to blah.
Okay, yeah, like and have a little message. So so then how would multiple ones go. If you wanted another one, let's say I'm gonna get rid of this article. So it'd just kind of be like another H2, and this would be like gaming after work.
Yeah, and in fact, the way I'm thinking about it, we could probably have each article is going to be a schedule.
Okay. There, and then have. Oh, let me also get this. Put that there. There we go. And we honestly could make our own component off of this, but I think that's a little bit overkill at the moment.
Right. We may not need to depend because the data is gonna like we don't have to necessarily create this article this way because we're gonna get all this data from the database.
Okay, right. Um. So yeah, like then it would just be something like this, just like that, just filler data. Let's just say Tuesday, Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know. Just have more data, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oopsies, didn't mean to do that. There we go. And there we go. So now, let's see. Do you mind saving that?
Yep. Nope. Hey.
There we go. There and then there. Okay, great. I really like that schedule. I like the layout.
Yeah, and I think this will make it easier for us to style it because we can have essentially boxes around each of these.
Right. It'll be very
And
simple.
yeah, so I'm almost thinking that simpler is better simply because there's going to be less stuff to sort of like get in the way of displaying what is the data that we're actually trying to display here.
Just convey the schedule like to viewers.
Yeah. Now, if we're going to cancel something, um, it's it's gonna be interesting because this is just like a static schedule, right? It's not going to be a list of actual streams that we're doing. So like canceling them is and like noting that they're canceled is going to be kind of interesting.
Okay. Um so let's say just as a we okay, so how I forget how you do it. Hang on. I'm thinking what if it's canceled, we go like this. So let's say the Tuesday stream is canceled. This might look really silly, but blast from the past.
Obviously, we won't be using the strike tag for that,
That'd be
but
funny.
yeah, like so we could definitely do something like this where we say, okay, we're canceling the next this next like Tuesday stream.
Okay.
And I could almost imagine that it's going to be something like we strike that out and then we write canceled as I'm out of town this Tuesday.
Okay. That sounds good. It does still look silly, but I think it's good. I think it's good to
Yeah.
get the message across for the time being. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, and that's going to be the other idea of like these standard components that we use is that we can change them for ourselves, but not necessarily affect each other unless we want that.
Okay, great. So in our how would this line up? Would this Okay, so I'm thinking there are multiple ways to do this. If we actually want these to be list items, what we could do is just have in terms of the data structure, I guess. How do I like comment? Can I just like can I have it automatically do a comment for me?
You should be able to do the command slash.
Command slash. That's what I've been trying to do. It wasn't working. For
Really?
me. Yeah. I don't have any view extensions though. View related extensions.
Oh, well, that might be the thing. I have a view extension, so it's aware of what this file is supposed to look like.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I get no syntax highlighting. I probably should download that.
Yes, I highly recommend. Let me see which one I have. In the extensions, I have VTour, so that's VETUR.
Oh yes. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that. Let's see if I hope I don't have to like refresh my my VS Code.
No, no, they updated. As long as you have a recent version of VS Code, you're fine.
I don't. Well, it's recent, but I do have a pending update. So, hey, great, it worked. Hey, lovely. That looks so much nicer now. I've been editing plain white text.
That is barbaric.
That's funny. So if I type something like day, something like that, I'm just saying like, oh, I didn't want that entire thing.
Oh yeah, that's the only problem is that it wants to do the entire thing.
There we go. So we could honestly, if we want to make this like really simple, but less, I guess, good, then we'd have just strings in an array with these as the strings. And just display that array. But obviously we don't really want to do that, do we?
Yeah, I'm thinking like if we get really if we make it like super simple, we'll just say, okay, what day we assume that if they're not one-off streams, if they're like repeating streams, they're going to be repeated every week. So if we say, okay, I have a programming before work stream, so we basically say like, okay, I want a new schedule. All right, well that's going to be program. The title is going to be programming for work in this case.
Okay.
Then it's like, okay, well, what's the description for the stream? So we add the description in, and then we say, okay, what is the day? What are the what's the time that it like? What's a day and the time that it runs on? And so we add this one Mondays at 6:45 a.m. to 8:15, and then we can add another one. Okay, I want another day added to this. This is gonna be Wednesday at 6:45, and so I could theoretically do, okay, I want Monday at 6:45, I want Wednesday at 7 p.m., and I want Friday at like 2 p.m.
Okay. So in terms of the user actually doing that, it's gonna make our data more complicated. But I think that's worth it. I don't know the best way to actually store this information though.
Yeah, so this sounds to me like it's going to be a table. So we're going to want a table for the streams.
Okay.
But each of these would be a row in a database. And since we don't want to have something like stream day 1, stream day 2, stream day 3 in like as part of the columns, we're probably going to want to create another table for the actual schedule.
Okay. That'll be
And that
interesting.
these will then belong to. These will have like we'll do a join to join these days up with the
Like the
with the actual stream schedule.
awesome. Awesome. I'm excited for that because I've never done like a relational database before.
Yeah. So we'll get those all together. We'll store them into the database and then we'll pull them out. So we'll say, okay, we need Kale's stream. Let's go and get all of his stream data.
Okay, great. So we should do that a little bit later though. Well, we won't get into the database stuff quite yet, right?
Yeah, we want to continue like figuring out, fleshing this out, because once we have this, then we can create the form to create these. And then after we create the form, then we can create the endpoints to catch that data, and then finally the database to store it in.
Okay, cool. So after this, we'll be making the form. So what else is there to a stream then?
Well, I'm not sure there is much more. What can we think about, like what we need to do for this?
For this, so if I go ahead, I'm gonna say like we're gonna need the day, we're gonna need the start, uh, time, end time. If it's canceled, if it's still going on, and maybe just a cancel message that if it's not canceled is null. But I'll just have the cancel message. I'm thinking that's gonna be how we're gonna have to do it for each one of each stream, I guess, like each actual row. I guess. um, so this wouldn't necessarily be like that. We would just have the key and point to these, I guess. Um,
Yeah, no, I mean that seems pretty good to me. Was what do we want to handle one-off streams, like streams where they're not on like a schedule?
uh, I don't know if we should do that quite yet, or should we?
I'm thinking maybe not.
Yeah. Okay. Um, that would add like a. I think that I feel like it would complicate things quite a bit more than they already will be. um,
I actually don't think it's going to be that hard. It would be that hard to do. We would basically have the same uh, a different a different form, or in the form we just say, hey, this is a one-off. This is just
okay.
one stream that I'm doing, and we would just place it maybe in a different area on the page.
Okay. So it wouldn't like. Okay. Interesting.
It'd be more complex for the front end than it would be for the back end. The back end, it would just be like more data, like another schedule to put in, but we just have to add in um, data that this would be a like this is ongoing,
Okay.
or one off, like whichever one we want as the default could be like the more simple one. But let's not worry about that, because the other idea about coding, sort of like a fundamental lesson I've learned, is uh, let's not be afraid that we're not, that we're gonna have to refactor later, because that's just how everything works.
Okay. So we'll just put it off, and in putting it off, we know that we'll have to refactor, and we're
Right.
we're okay with that.
Right. Well, because we're always learn more as we're doing things, and so we're going to learn a better way of doing stuff. So why write so much code when we don't know what we're doing?
Okay. Sweet. I like that logic. Why write code if you don't know what you're doing? Yeah. That's funny.
Exactly. It's sort of this idea of being as lazy as possible, but not the bad lazy. It's the good lazy.
Sweet. So smart.
Exactly. All right. So we see we have these in here. Is there anything else that we need to store?
Um, as long as our start time and end time, as long as they're uh set correctly. Like, I don't know really how they're stored in the database, but if they store like the what's it called, um, the time zone, then I think that's it.
Yeah, well, time zones are always going to be fun.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
deal with that
Oh yeah.
as it comes up.
Okay.
I'm thinking for right now that we're not going to worry about the time zone. We're just going to make you write down what, like, the letters.
Okay. Okay. So then we won't actually have these be dates. We'll have these be strings then.
Um, it's a good question.
Or do you mean something like this: start time, end time, time zone that you're in?
Possibly, yeah. I'm almost thinking that this might be better for us to like note down what time zone it needs to be. Um, because if we display it in the local time, but it's like not based on the right thing, it can be a little bit tricky.
Mm-hmm.
The other side of things is that we just say, "Hey, start time and end time, you are a string," and we're just going to set that up to be
Okay. Yeah.
literally whatever you type in.
Yeah. I guess I feel like that would be easiest to refactor to, like, later down the line if we want to just go. Like, I'm thinking if they set a start time and end time, it'll take note of their time zone and be able to convert to the user, like the viewer's time zone, automatically. Uh, but that would come later down the line, I guess.
Yeah, I actually don't know what like how Twitch's events work right now because when I look at the page, and let me see if I can pull that up. I actually don't think I can come through this page. Let me go through the other browser. If I look at events for here, there you are. Okay, so I don't know if you're looking at my screen right now, but I have this is the event screen that I get to see when I'm creating events on Twitch, which would be an awesome sort of like streaming schedule page, except they don't allow repeating events.
Okay.
So if I take a look at here's our pair programming, here's what we're doing today.
Lovely.
And this is what it ends up looking like to me.
Okay. Yes.
So it does detect like MDT. It doesn't say like GMT -6. I don't know what yours if you're able to view this, Kale.
Did you? Could you try, like, sending me that?
Yep, I will send you this in Slack.
Great. There. Let's see. Here we are. So let's see if it does convert into. Yeah, so it says 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. CDT for me.
Ah, okay. So it does. It is. They're storing it somehow in the database, possibly in GMT,
Okay.
and then they're just figuring out your offset and then figuring that out. So we'll probably need to do that ourselves
Okay.
when we create this. So if I was to add an event, it actually detects. Okay, I'm in MDT, and then notes that down.
Okay. Yep. So it's gonna detect that, and it's probably storing it, but offset to yours is what you're saying, and then it's giving me that, and it's offsetting mine to display it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, let's. I don't know if we should, like, really worry about it right now.
Let's sort of figure things out. As long as we don't have real data in, we can make changes to the database. As soon as we start doing real stuff to it, then it gets a lot harder to sort of make those changes.
Okay, great.
All right. Can you think of any other things to add to this page?
Nope. Maybe a photo, but maybe that would come later.
Yeah, we could do photos later if you want. We could also do maybe links.
Links, okay.
Because I can imagine after the schedule wanting to put like links to the actual streaming page.
Okay. Do you think that should go in the description? Do you think we should just have like have the description be like markdown, rendered markdown so that the user can just type whatever links they want in there?
So we could do that, or we could just capture the links directly into the database and then build them up.
Okay. So, I'm thinking if the user that is viewing the schedule clicks on the title, then they should be brought to the schedule page, or they should be brought to the streaming page.
Yeah.
So if we have title links to streaming page, so then we're really gonna make this like an A, or kind of like an A. It'd be something like that, I guess. href equals streaming page. Just as an example right now. Which did not. Do you mind? Could you save it? Yeah.
I mean, so we can definitely do that. And that's actually in that's interesting. We could have it like this. I don't really see the intent. So this is a little bit of design here.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know that clicking on this would take me to watch it.
Could we add like a little like link symbol on the right
We could definitely add that. What if we just are very explicit
and just say
and
click here to view?
yeah, so we say something like, okay, watch
Watch now, or I don't know.
watch
Watch here.
on
Oh, okay,
Twitch.tv.
yeah. Watch on Twitch, yeah.
But then um, you could have watch the
Oh,
old, like watch old
watch the
recorded
archive
videos,
or something.
something like that.
Okay.
And so these would be A tags.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up then. Okay, let's see how that looks then. Great.
And for each of these links, especially like the YouTube link, it could take you to the playlist that all these streams are being archived to.
Okay, yeah, you could go to like an entire list of videos then.
Right.
See them all. See all of the old streams.
Right, but all of the old streams that are about this specific programming before work.
Right, okay. that would kind of be up to the YouTube creator though to make that playlist and link
Well,
it.
yes. So what I'm almost thinking is that's just another link that we can capture in the form about this.
Okay, right. So, do you
So we
think it would be easiest just to like make that be in the description and
like where would the description, like which description? Can you make that change to it?
like I'm saying like what if the description were like I'm just thinking so we'd have our tag like this and this is where the description would go. Um and then you'd just kind of be doing like this. Oopsies. Uh something like that.
Mm.
But that would be
Yes,
in the description.
okay, okay. So I get what you're saying is that we have this sort of section where the description, which is also um, like about what about where it has this okay description of what I'm building.
Just like
I'm
that
guessing
would
what you're
move
saying.
into the
This would
markdown.
also be
Yes. Yes.
in here.
Hmm.
And of course, it's not really displaying very well right now because Markdown
Right.
Render doesn't exist. Now, I can see that working. Um, how about this for a counterpoint? Do we want to store Markdown in the database, or do we want to just store the data and then use components to be able to display that data in different ways?
Ooh. Huh. That is a good point. Like what if I want like a bunch of links or descriptions about the links? I feel like the markdown, well, it gives us more options about what we write there. It kind of restricts the design aspect of it.
Off by one, did I know that PHP was invented to display MySQL errors to web users? Run and hide. I think it was invented for something else, but the MySQL errors were a very close to that,
It's
or maybe
ridiculous.
just a happy accident. I don't know.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Can't go wrong with some
Nothing better than sending the errors directly to the user and saying, "Here, you figure it out." And hello.
I don't know what happened to your stream. Did I accidentally exit out of your stream?
Well, I think I'm still here.
Twitch.tv. There we go. Yeah, you're
No
so
drop
good.
frames. I'm good.
Yep.
All right. So we have this. Do we want any other links?
Uh I think we might want more links. I don't know. I was thinking like we could do just a links list, but then that gives the user less control over it, the streamer less control. But that also means there's less like there's fewer ways we could you know take over the design apart from just styling the markdown, I guess. you know.
Well, I mean, I'm sort of thinking about this as kind of like blog templates,
Mhm.
and this would be a like a box that we could potentially have.
Okay.
So what if we put a section that had links, and so then it's our just choice of what the links are.
Mhm.
So we could say, okay, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, GitHub, all of those different places, and then that displayed somewhere on a page depending upon which component we're using.
Okay.
I could almost see something like this. We have a section, we have an H1, there's going to be links, and then it would just be a simple UL with an LI that's going to be something like, okay, Twitter.
So this is outside of all the stream schedule part. This is like a footer with links. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm putting this below the schedule right now.
Okay.
And off by one, yes, we are using live share and VS Code. It has been working super well.
Oh, but hang on. Watch this.
Where are you?
I am in standard schedule component.
Huh. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I shouldn't be trolling my stream partner.
All right, I'm gonna have to, because unfortunately, I still
Yeah.
can't see those to delete it. So give me a second. All right, and they're gone.
Hopefully, off by one doesn't get any funny ideas like I did.
It doesn't matter. It's all part of the show, right?
I feel like I need to. I wonder if I could hook up to your streamlines, or highlight lines, and see if like whenever they tell you, like, highlight a line, will it show up on mine?
Oh, that's actually an issue that they put in for those lines to show over live share.
Oh, okay, okay, wow. Well, hopefully they get fixed before they implement that. Hopefully they implement the remove the line, you know.
Yeah, no, it hopefully. Okay, so we have these like potential links here. We have our schedule, which is based on days that we can cancel and display. We have the descriptions and all of that data. It sounds to me like we can probably start creating the form that we need to the form that we need to like fill out to then be able to create these.
Okay. So, are we keeping these and doing the markdown, or which one are we going for, or both? I don't even know.
Well, so I sort of feel that we shouldn't do markdown at all.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Markdown was kind of a pain last time I used it. Not gonna lie.
I mean, it's not too big of a problem. We just use a library, and it turns it into just Markdown is just HTML. It's just another language.
Okay, right.
The problem about Markdown is that we, as in like the programmers, lose control over how we like what the HTML structure is that we're going to display that in.
Right.
Did we lose anything when you did that? I think we lost the description.
Oh, the description tag. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So I did that, and I left that, and then the description. What was that? Was that?
That was just a p tag.
It was just p. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna cut this and then delete this.
Yeah, off by one, there are some super nice things coming into VS Code, and I've been very happy with what they've been doing, what Microsoft's been doing with it.
I switched from Atom, and it's been great. I switched last year from Atom, and it's been lovely.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see what's going to happen to Atom now that Microsoft owns them both.
Oh, wow. Does it?
Well, right, because Microsoft purchased GitHub.
Oh yeah, that's nuts. I don't want Microsoft getting too big. Like, chill out, Microsoft. Chill.
Well, hey, the number two company, if I remember correctly, was Google. So I'm actually of those two choices, I'm kind of happier with Microsoft purchasing GitHub.
I am too. I'm too. I've seen. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I would too.
All right. Okay. So is there anything else that we want to figure out about this?
Um, I think we're good. I'm a little bit foggy on how the links are going to be stored for each one, but that'll be exciting to see how it works.
Yeah, I think it's going to be simpler than you might think. We'll probably need a table for the links,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
but then it'll just be a join table.
Sweet.
And so it won't. It'll be like a many to one relationship where one streamer has many links.
Well, one streamer has many streams, and many streams have many, or one stream has many links, I guess.
Yeah,
So it's a one to many.
right.
If we keep going down the
And so
line.
it's going to be like fairly tame as far as database schemas are concerned,
Okay.
especially since these are these are static.
Hmm.
I mean, once we set them, you're generally not going to be going like changing things all the time. But in order for us to set these, we can sort of like start moving backwards and say, okay, if we want to be able to like create these through a form, we need to be able to log in through a form and then have a link to like or a route to a dashboard page.
Right. Okay. So that would be like just slash dashboard, you think?
Yeah. So if we go to like maybe slash dashboard or slash admin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a problem with that right now. If we go to slash dashboard,
We get sent back to home. Right? Oh. Oh, right, because we're not even we stopped redirecting them, didn't we?
I know. So we have to decide like how we want to be able to handle that. So I'm thinking that we're on the landing page. We need to detect, okay, are we logged in? And if we're not logged in, redirect us to just slash, and then with like a button. Well, and the other thing is like we don't really need to have this entire. Uh, we don't need buttons to log in or anything, do we? Unless we want like people to say, okay, are you a streamer? Like sign up. So maybe like a sign up page, maybe a login. That might be a good idea.
Okay, so would we have a slash login or like because we had the auth routes for a little bit there. How do we re-implement the auth routes into our front end framework? I guess is the next question.
Well, ooh, yeah. So super good question. And Oppo One is actually suggesting that we use Twitch OAuth here. We could use Twitch OAuth, except I'm actually thinking of not doing that because Kale's planning on using this too, and he's a YouTube streamer. So we don't want to lock
Woohoo!
anybody in.
Yeah, but if you were saying that this is specifically made for developers, like streaming developers, then the one thing they have in common is GitHub, probably.
Yeah, so we could potentially do this. Although I kind of want to make this so that non gamers or like gaming streams could work too.
So we could do like sign up with Facebook, sign up with GitHub, sign up with Google, sign up with Twitch.
We could do that. Let's stick to just username and password right
Okay,
now,
yeah, I
and
agree.
then if we really want to, we can integrate those other systems in later.
Okay, sounds like a deal.
Right. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create components for like signing in and logging in.
Okay.
There is. You're right off the one. There is a social plugin for Laravel already, and we'll probably use that later if we want to do this.
Ooh, that sounds neat too. Okay.
But for right now, let's the second part about this off by one is that this is also a learning project, so that way we can like practice all the different authentications.
Socialite. Uh, could you off by one? Could you make that an issue to use that? You know where the GitHub link is.
Let me grab the GitHub link and I'll put it into. Where is
I'm gonna
it?
beat you. I'm gonna get it before you. GitHub, GitHub, GitHub. Nope. Dang it. I think
Too
you already
late.
got it. Dang it.
Yeah, off by one, you use the command GitHub, and I then put that link in there.
Ah,
Around here, I have a manual bot, which is just me. No, I haven't created a chat bot yet, or at least the old chat bot I had is sort of defunct now, and I'm gonna redo it.
okay, so if we look at I feel like we need to look into the original Laravel components. Like the routes, the login routes in order to understand how we'd have to implement it into Vue.
Ooh, yeah. So super good question. Let's do that. Before we even do that, let's actually find out what those routes are.
So if we've got if I go into web, so right here I see that I see two that seem to have been added from the auth. Hang on one second. There's a vacuum. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, so we do have these two routes, the auth routes and the routes get. But these don't really give us much information.
Yeah, I agree. Can I
So
like?
there is a command line. There's a artisan command that will list out all the routes that are registered with Laravel.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go find that. Do you have the ability to create or new terminals?
I can't. I just tried it. It creates one of my own, like a terminal for
All
me.
right. There, I just added 3.
Oh wow. Okay. Yep. There we go. So now PHP artisan. So view. Nope. Queue package. Migrate. Make. Key. Event.
Well, let's think about what do we want to display?
List. We want to display the routes.
All right, so let's see if there's like a subcommand route.
Subcommand route. I feel like it would be view : route or routes, but I don't see that. Let me try this. Route list. Here we go. There we go. So we've got gets on home login, user, and streamers. Interesting. So when we created our API/streamers, we just created that, but they also had an API/user. That's really interesting. Okay, but they have the action and the middleware as well. They've got register, they've got a whole bunch of password and reset ones. Wow, they do a bunch.
It's not as complicated as you might think.
Okay.
Although, like, they do have, like, a bunch of this password resets and other things for us.
Mm-hmm.
For right now, we're probably most interested in the create account, the register.
The register. Okay. So they can get and they can post there. So a get will show the form, and the post, I assume, will do the back end work for us. So we could post to that.
Right.
Okay. Um. So let's see. Let's see. Could we open up the the view for that?
Well, there's not really a view for the register API because it's just like an API endpoint. But we can go to the controller and look at the function that's using it.
Okay. Um. So it's in app HTTP controllers. Hang on. Let me follow that. I route HTTP. Oh wait, app HTTP controllers, and then auth, and then register controller. Okay, there we are. Okay, finally. I'll get.
You can also
I'll
use the
get
control
faster with
P,
that.
and that will get you there really
Oh
fast.
really? Control P. Oh yeah. What am I even? I never use that. I should use that. This is cool. I like that's semantically satisfying to me. Do you see what I'm selecting?
Yep. If you don't
Yeah.
need to, you'd never have to open up the sidebar.
That's nice. Do you see this validator make thing? I really like that.
Oh, yeah, down here. Yeah, so that's giving us backend validation on the post data that's sent in.
That's lovely. I like that. Required string minimum 8 confirmed. It's so easy. It reads so nicely.
I know, and it's part of Laravel. So in JavaScript and Express, you probably brought in a validation library to use, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't need to do that. You just say, I want it to be like this.
A validator. You return a validator. So protected function, and then this we've got this create. Okay, so this is okay. So register. Let's go to register. Where is Okay, so I'm in the register controller. I don't see a show registration form or a register function.
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting because and I don't know enough about Laravel to know exactly what they did behind the scenes, but it's essentially a little bit hidden for us.
Is it because this is inheriting something, it's extending something, or
Possibly, or maybe there's some middleware set up, or maybe there's some other files
oh,
that
okay.
I'm not aware of because I'm also relatively new to Laravel.
Okay.
The end result that we know is that this create function is what's going to be run to create the user. And so if we send a post to /register,
Mhm.
then it will hit this function here.
So do you think that's all that is it's running this? But do you think the middleware is also doing something? Like I don't know where this name comes from. This name at register. When like I was expecting this to be function register, you know.
Yeah. When I first came
Huh.
here, I came here last week to sort of like do this on my other project, and I sort of got that same confusion.
Okay.
And I think what's happening is that they have. I mean, it extends. controller, but unfortunately that's not really helpful because it's just like these, well, app HTTP controllers. But if we take a look, if we notice on web PHP, it's auth routes. That's all it's really using here.
Okay, yes.
So somewhere, uh, there's some file somewhere that's registered what that really means,
Okay, yeah.
and we don't necessarily have access to it right now because we don't know where it is.
Okay.
So we have a couple choices here. We can recreate the authentication system using the API
Mm-hmm.
sort of interface that we were doing before, and then we'll like copy what we need out of here, or we can just make use of this route as it is and just hit it on /register.
Let's hit it on /register.
All right.
I think that'd be simple. Can we get rid of the views from there though?
What do you
Like,
mean views?
so when I did the PHP artisan route list, I see there are all these gets, um, and this get home, but we aren't really using that. Is there a way to just get rid of that completely?
Hmm. I'm not sure there is a simple way to get rid of that because in web.php, there's this app routes.
Yes.
And that's setting up all of the routes for us.
Okay. So I can't seem to go to definition. Dang it.
Right. Unfortunately, VS Code is not aware of where this is created.
Dang it. Dang. Oh, but I mean, where is it? And it's a global. Dang. So where would that even be?
Well, so this is where either talking with like another Laravel developer who either has done this before or knows what they're doing more than me, or looking at the documentation to see where this is would come in.
Right.
Now, if we just want to move forward
Yeah,
and
let's
just sort
just
of
yeah, let's just go.
experiment with this, is because it's part of both of us learning it. Then um, we could ignore it. Like having the routes here isn't that big of a deal. It yes, they exist, and it would show the registration form, except I guess it would. So if we go to /register in our browser,
Yeah, so it does show the form.
it's going to show it. But it's showing that because we have our fallback at the very bottom.
So, do we want to just keep it like that? Or do we want to we want to override this, don't we?
We probably want to override this so that we can keep it all in the Vue ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is nice, but I think it would be nicer if we all did it in Vue. If we did it all in Vue.
What we could do is, for right now, we'll just ignore that this exists.
Okay, we'll just okay. That feels wrong, but I can do
mean,
some research and maybe next time we can fix it.
yeah, maybe. Right now, it's something that exists, and we have to think about it. If we get rid of this auth routes, so let's say on these two lines,
Mm-hmm.
if we just delete those, then and I save, and we rerun our route list again.
Oh, interesting. Okay, API/user. Why? That's really interesting. Why that is there? I don't know why that's there. I thought that would have been taken along with it. You know, when you deleted Let me try running it again. Hang on. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. I don't know why I thought it would change, but
Well, so we somewhere have that set up, and I don't remember where that is. That might be like a different route that's created somewhere.
can I do like a mega find, a mega search? Huh.
That's interesting. I can't see your search.
Oh, you can't?
I
It's
cannot.
it's not showing anything after, like, if I do API/user, that doesn't do anything. If I just do user though, that does a lot. Let me match case. No, I want to match
Well,
the
let's not
case.
worry about this right this second.
Okay, yeah.
So we have this get API streamers, and we can create. So it sounds like if you want to get rid of all the auth ones, we have to get rid of all of them, just like we did here. And it might be better for us to create new routes that only do what we want them to do and not anything extra.
Okay.
And so we'll be able to do a post to /API users, create a new controller for that, and then sort of move on from there.
So so you don't think we should keep the auth routes for now?
Well, so that's the big question, right? If we keep the auth routes, that's also fine, but we have to accept that now we have routes that we're not going to use.
I think that's fine for now. We'll just not use them for now, and then later on we'll come back and clean it up, I think.
All right. Sounds good. So maybe what we should do is create an issue.
Okay.
Um, because and so like here's the next thing. We are purposely for the point of moving faster, doing something that's going to leave a little bit of cruft in the project,
Mhm.
and that is known as technical debt.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so you can almost think about it is we're not doing something now in order, like, but we're going to have to do it something later. But we're not doing it now in order to move faster.
So that's exactly why we would create an issue about it, I guess.
Right. So the idea is that we're essentially taking out, like using a credit card for this, we're taking out some debt, some short term debt
Mhm.
against the future
Right. Okay.
in the terms of time. And where it gets dangerous is if we take out this debt and don't make a record of it.
Okay. Yep. So I'm just struggling to find where is the there it is. Okay, streaming overlays. I was just trying to get to it. There we go. So I'm gonna call it that we need to purge off um get routes. And that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go into a little bit more detail. The Laravel, the built-in auth in Laravel sets up a few endpoints that will be overridden, or that will be obsolete. I don't even know how to spell that. Obsolete. There we go. Okay. Obsolete by our front end framework. These need to be removed. There we go. So I made the issue. I don't know if it's very well said, but I hope the idea just gets across.
Oh, and off by one, you created the issue for feature request. Implement a social login feature. Awesome.
Hey, sick. let me do PHP artisan list, and I'm gonna do a few things real quick. I don't know if this is bad to do. I'll delete this comment if it's bad, I guess. But there we go. There is our dump of the PHP artisan list. Route list. There we go. And so I'm gonna update this with the ones that we don't want anymore. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me edit this. Let me see if this would do anything. What if I just take out the quotes? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. I need to unedit that.
That's lovely.
I thought it might like automatically do the table. I forget the exact
I don't think it's the exact right syntax for it.
dang, it's just kind of close, but dang.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, they made a table by hand. They didn't make a markdown table, though.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
All right. Well, it is 9 o'clock in Mountain Time, so we
here,
have
yep.
been going for 2 hours, and that's usually our limit for these pair programming streams. But we can do a quick recap of what we've done this session.
Okay. I feel like as we were going through, I feel like we weren't getting much done. But maybe if we go back and realize that we did a lot, hopefully it'll make me feel a little bit better. So I think that's a good idea. So if I remember correctly, the first thing we did was we didn't do the fallback first. What was it? It was something to do with Vue. What exactly did we do first? Hang on. If I see the public note resources, there we go. Okay. So it seems like we changed it so that it wouldn't keep the hello component in the standard schedule. I remember doing that. So whenever we navigated to a streamer's schedule, it no longer rendered the hello component. So that was what we did first, and then we created the standard schedule we created the standard schedule within the schedule component to be rendering all of the data or all the HTML, I guess, to display the schedule. And then after that, or kind of in between that, I guess we've added the fallback so that we actually navigate to the correct routes whenever we refresh the page. We added that fallback route to just port everything back to our front end framework to handle it. And then after that, what did we do after that? I'm pretty sure that's when we started thinking about making our own login forms. So yeah, I mean, anything that I missed?
I think the big one was we went to the schedule component itself and figured out what the data we wanted to display was.
Yes. Yeah, that one took quite a while.
Yeah, and so that's the biggest thing is like just to figuring out what it is that we really need.
Right. Well, sweet. So we'll be adding more to schedule component. Like right now we have as a standard schedule, but the idea is to make it make more of these little standard components and to build up the schedule.
Yeah, and so my thought is that we'll probably start with one sort of uh, schedule component. So it'll be
Mm-hmm.
our standard schedule component.
Right.
Maybe we could have another component, and there'll be two designs, and that will allow us to have each of us choose which one we want to do. And if we ever decide to add new ones, we just add them into the repo.
Awesome. Well, great. So I've got a bit of homework to do. It sounds like.
Well, okay. So what's the homework? What are you gonna look up in this week?
So I think the first thing I want to look up is exactly what we do and do not need from our route list. Um, I think some of these gets might be necessary, but I don't know. It might. I don't think it is necessary for all of them. Um, I want to find them where they are in the file structure and learn how to remove them, so that we can take control of them. I think that's my first thing to do.
Okay, so basically figure it out how they're using auth, remove these auth routes, and then do our own.
Yes. Or at least get an idea of how we'd go about doing that, because I don't know if I can still access this code when we're not sharing the code.
Well,
Oh,
so
my the get.
that's a good point. I'm going to create I'm going to push this up. So
Awesome.
we created um, schedule, schedule, component, and thoughts about auth through view. And pushing that up.
Awesome.
Yep, so you'll have access to this. Actually, anybody has access to this.
I'll just fork it. I'll make my changes.
Yeah, that definitely works. Um,
Do I
yeah,
need
no,
to
I
fork
think
it? Yeah,
that'd
I
be perfect.
do need to fork it. Okay. Great. I'm gonna do that real quick. Just in the meantime. There we go. Awesome. Well, great. Does that wrap it up then, I guess?
I think it does. So we're even though we don't have our Steam schedule pages up right now, um, we are planning on doing this every single week on Sundays. So for me in Denver, that is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Mountain Time.
And for me, who is in Spring, Texas, it's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And off by one asked, does do you know about Laracasts?
Laracast.
Ooh, okay. So
I've
let
never heard
me
of
let me
that.
show you. If you Google Laracast,
Laracast.
it's it's a it's a series of video courses that one person has made, and it's all about either PHP or Vue.js or Laravel, based upon the name.
Mm-hmm.
And he has tons and tons and tons of these courses, and each of them has quite a few videos. Not all of they're not free. I think there's like introduction to Laravel 5.7, so that's called Laravel 5.7 from scratch.
Okay. Yes.
That is a free course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then most of the other ones you pay, and it's a per where is it? It's a per month fee, and it's around $15 per month.
Okay. Wow. I mean, this looks like a really nice website.
Yeah, if you want to sort of like look into it, just sort of start watching some of those. Where is it? The Laravel 5.7 from scratch, which is what we're using. We're using the 5.x Laravel, so that's the correct one.
Okay. Wow. They put a lot of time in this. This is like a really nice looking. website.
Well, it's also dog fooded, so Laracast is made with Laravel.
Okay. Wow. Cleans up nice. Well, awesome. Okay. I'll see what I can see. I hope this is worthwhile.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you have any closing remarks?
I'm excited. I'm excited for this upcoming Sunday. We always seem to
All
end
right.
on a cliffhanger. Either that or we don't get enough done to my liking, but that'll come with
Uh,
experience. So,
well, I mean, a big part of it is learning, right? So we're
yes,
we're getting foundations. We're learning what we need to do. Um,
it's better to not rush it. I agree. I totally agree.
yeah. And once we get like certain things set in place, it'll be much faster to sort of like get that done. Off the one, so your stream schedule would be from Sunday 3 a.m. to
I think you meant AM, right?
5 a.m. in Germany. Are you in Germany? That is very early in the morning.
Off by one's a nutter. Whoa,
Oh,
3
3
p.m.
p.m. to
3
5 p.m.
p.m.
Okay,
Okay.
that is much better. I was gonna say like, uh,
I was thinking, are you awake right now?
yeah. Also, now that I think about it, that would be really odd because that's only like a 4 hour difference,
I really wouldn't know.
and Germany is
Oh, that's what
pretty
you're saying.
far
Yeah,
away.
yeah. It's too far. It's too far to only be that far difference in the
Yeah,
time.
so you could watch it at the end of your workday. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go have the rest of my Sunday.
Awesome.
And I hope that you all have a great rest of your Sunday.
Sweet.
And I'm going to switch over to the ending stream. And
I'll say goodbye to my stream real quick.
and yeah. And also off at one. You mostly get up at 4 a.m. because then you have about 4 hours to concentrate. Well, that's why I do my coding before work, so I can do that as well. And Chantilly, hello, but we're about to leave, so hello and goodbye.
See y'all.
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
thanks
end my
everybody
stream.
for stopping by and sort of watching us go through Laravel. And I'm streaming normally on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6:45 a.m. Mountain Time. That's GMT -6. What's your? Do you have a schedule right now, Kale?
Do I? I don't have like. No, this is the only part of my schedule that is scheduled. So it's just 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for me on Sundays.
All right.
With you.
Well, in that case, we'll see you next time, whenever that is.
Bye.
Bye.